Have you ever wondered why, in a world obsessed with wealth and status, some women seem mysteriously drawn to things no amount of money can buy? Why does a simple glance, a gesture, or a moment of presence hold more power than any diamond necklace or luxury car? It's not what you think. There are 6 ancient, timeless qualities that women secretly crave, far beyond gold, fame, or fortune. These are not just desires. They are echoes of something far deeper, something primal, hidden in the roots of human nature and whispered through the teachings of the Stoics. Before we unlock these hidden truths, I want you to pause for a moment and answer this. What do you believe women truly value the most beyond money? Type your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you're ready to discover secrets most men will never know, give this video a like. Every click helps spread this ancient wisdom to those who are ready to hear it. Let's bring back what the modern world has forgotten. Now let me ask you a question you won't forget. Why did the greatest philosophers, emperors, and warriors, men who could command legions and amass unimaginable wealth, still yearn for something else to feel truly fulfilled? Because they understood a secret that's been buried by centuries of noise. True influence, true attraction, comes not from what you own, but from who you are. In this video, we'll journey into 6 powerful truths, timeless, profound, and rarely spoken aloud. These are the silent forces that captivate the feminine heart, not through manipulation, but through mastery of self, through presence, strength, and a depth of character that no bank account can replicate. But be warned, once you see these truths, you can't unsee them. They'll challenge how you view relationships, success, even your own sense of worth. This is not just advice. It's ancient knowledge, rediscovered. We'll uncover why qualities like emotional stillness, authentic purpose, and quiet confidence resonate far deeper than material gifts. We'll explore how Stoic philosophy reveals these forgotten arts, not as tricks, but as pathways to genuine connection. So, stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you'll not only understand why women secretly love these 6 things more than money, you'll understand how to embody them. This isn't about impressing others. It's about rediscovering the power within yourself. Let's begin. Long before the noise of modern life, before flashing screens, luxury brands, and endless social validation, there existed a quieter world. In the ancient forums of Rome, the marble courtyards of Athens, and the shadowed libraries of forgotten empires, thinkers and sages pondered a deeper truth. What truly moves the human heart? For the Stoics, this was never about wealth. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, held dominion over one of the richest empires in history. Yet he wrote in his meditations, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." He wasn't dazzled by gold or titles. His gaze was fixed on something subtler, virtue, wisdom, and inner mastery. He understood that what truly commands respect, admiration, even love, cannot be bought. It must be cultivated. Throughout history, women have been portrayed as seekers of security, drawn to providers of material wealth. But this is a surface-level understanding, born of cultural projection. In truth, the feminine heart has always yearned for something far more profound: presence, strength of character, and emotional sovereignty. Consider the myth of Odysseus. After years lost at sea, facing gods and monsters, he returns not as a man flaunting riches, but as a hero shaped by trials. His wisdom, patience, and unwavering resolve are what draw Penelope back to him. not his spoils of war. The journey carved depth into his soul, a depth far more alluring than any treasure. Even in Eastern philosophy, this principle holds. In Taoist thought, the concept of wu-wei, effortless action, being deeply aligned with the flow of life, reflects a kind of magnetic stillness. The man who does not chase, who is anchored in his own center, paradoxically attracts more. This is not manipulation, it's nature. Yet somewhere along the path of history, these truths were veiled. The rise of industrialization, consumer culture, and social media blurred the line between true value and surface-level glitter. We began to measure worth in numbers, dollars, followers, likes, forgetting the intangible qualities that create lasting bonds. But Stoicism never lost sight of this. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This craving, this insatiable hunger for external validation, is precisely what repels genuine connection. Women, intuitive by nature, sense this void instantly. So why has this wisdom been forgotten? Because it demands inner work. Cultivating presence, emotional mastery, and authentic purpose isn't easy. It cannot be purchased, outsourced, or faked. And in a world obsessed with shortcuts, the slow, deliberate path of self-mastery is often overlooked. Yet those who choose this path unlock a different kind of wealth, a wealth that cannot be stolen, devalued, or lost in a market crash. It radiates from within, touching every interaction, every glance, every moment. In the following sections, we'll unveil the 6 timeless qualities that women secretly desire more than money. Qualities rooted in Stoic philosophy, yet as relevant today as they were 2,000 years ago. These are not gimmicks. They are ancient keys to understanding attraction, connection, and the art of being truly magnetic. Prepare yourself. What comes next will challenge what you think you know. Let us now unveil the first 3 of these 6 ancient qualities, timeless traits that women are magnetically drawn to, often without even realizing why. These are not tricks of charm, nor fleeting strategies. They are fundamental aspects of human nature, quietly echoing through the wisdom of the Stoics. The first is emotional stillness. In a chaotic world, where emotions flare like wildfires and people are quick to react, there is an undeniable allure to a man who remains unmoved, not cold, not detached, but centered. Picture the surface of a stormy sea, waves crashing, winds howling. Now picture the depths beneath, calm, steady, untouched by the surface turmoil. That depth is emotional stillness. It is a presence that says, no matter what happens, I am not shaken. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire under constant siege, yet he wrote with the serenity of a monk. His ability to remain composed amidst crisis made him not just a ruler, but a figure of deep respect. This stillness is magnetic because it signals mastery. Women sense, often subconsciously, that a man who cannot be rattled by life's tempests will not be rattled by emotional storms in a relationship. He becomes an anchor, a sanctuary. The second quality is authentic purpose. The Stoics taught that life's highest aim is to live in accordance with nature, with one's true purpose. In a world where many chase trends, seeking external approval, a man who knows his path and walks it with quiet conviction becomes rare, and thus profoundly attractive. Think of Epictetus, born a slave, yet he rose to become one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, not by seeking fame, but by living his philosophy. He once said, First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This unwavering focus on personal mission creates a gravitational pull. Women are not drawn to the mission itself, but to the energy it radiates, a life of direction, of meaning. Money can buy admiration, but authentic purpose earns respect, and respect is the foundation of lasting attraction. The third hidden desire is quiet confidence, not the loud, boastful bravado often mistaken for strength, but a deeper, more profound self-assurance, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself. Imagine a seasoned warrior, scars beneath his armor, who knows his worth without needing to prove it. That is the essence of quiet confidence. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who shouts the loudest who is to be feared, but the one who remains silent and composed." This composure speaks volumes. It tells the world and women that your value is intrinsic, not dependent on applause or validation. Quiet confidence is attractive because it signals inner security. It whispers, "I am enough," and that, in itself, is rare and irresistible. Now you may notice a pattern emerging. These qualities are not about external displays, but internal mastery. They reflect a Stoic truth. Control what is within your power, release what is not. As we continue, we will explore 3 more qualities, subtler, perhaps even more powerful, each one revealing why women, whether they admit it or not, are deeply drawn to them, far beyond the lure of wealth. But remember, this is not about pleasing others. It's about becoming aligned with the best version of yourself. And in doing so, you naturally become magnetic. Are you ready to uncover the next 3 hidden desires? Let us now journey deeper to uncover the final 3 qualities that women secretly cherish more than material riches. These are the subtle forces, the unseen threads that weave true connection beyond the surface games of attraction. And yet, they are often misunderstood, even ignored, by those who chase fleeting pleasures instead of timeless truths. The 4th quality is emotional resilience. Life is suffering, the Stoics declared, not in despair, but in clarity. The way we respond to adversity defines us. Women are not drawn to men who never fall. They are drawn to men who fall, rise, and remain unbroken. This is not about suppressing emotion, but transcending it. To feel deeply, yet not be ruled by those feelings. That is the art of emotional resilience. Consider the story of Cato the Younger, a Stoic who stood against the corruption of Caesar's Rome. Even in the face of inevitable defeat, Cato refused to compromise his principles. His resilience was not born of pride, but of inner strength. This kind of fortitude is deeply attractive, for it signals to a woman, "When life tests us, I will not crumble, I will stand." This silent promise of steadiness creates a deep sense of trust, a foundation upon which real intimacy can be built. The 5th quality is presence. In a world addicted to distraction, true presence has become a rare and precious gift. Presence is more than just physical proximity. It is the art of being fully here, fully now. When you listen with your whole being. When you look, you see beyond the surface. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, taught that virtue is the only true good, and virtue demands attention to the present moment. A man who is present is not elsewhere in his mind, seeking escape or validation. He is rooted, aware, alive. For women, this presence feels like oxygen. It creates a sacred space where they feel seen, heard, and valued, not for how they appear, but for who they are. Presence cannot be faked. It is felt. The final, and perhaps most profound quality, is emotional sovereignty. This is the culmination of Stoic mastery, the understanding that your peace, your happiness, your sense of worth comes from within and is never given away to external forces. A sovereign man does not seek to control others, nor is he controlled by them. He owns his reactions, his choices, his path. In relationships, this is magnetic. Emotional sovereignty means you are not needy, not grasping for approval, not thrown into chaos by someone else's mood. You remain whole regardless of circumstance, and paradoxically, this wholeness invites deeper connection because it comes without pressure, without demand. The Stoics would call this living in accordance with nature, accepting what is while mastering oneself. It is this self-possession, this inner wholeness that becomes irresistibly attractive. Now step back and see the larger picture. Emotional stillness, authentic purpose, quiet confidence, emotional resilience, presence, emotional sovereignty. These 6 qualities form an ancient code, not of seduction, but of self-mastery. And in mastering yourself, you become the kind of man who naturally inspires admiration, trust, and deep emotional connection, not through wealth, not through performance, but through being. As you breathe in this knowledge, realize that these are not distant ideals. They are skills, practices. They can be cultivated one moment at a time. In the next part of our journey, I will show you how. Now that the veil has been lifted and these 6 timeless qualities stand before you, the question remains, how do you embody them, not as concepts, but as living, breathing parts of who you are? This is where philosophy meets life, where ancient wisdom becomes daily practice. Let's begin with emotional stillness. Emotional stillness is not about being numb or distant. It's about creating space between stimulus and response. The Stoics called this apatheia, freedom from being controlled by passions. A simple, powerful practice is the art of the pause. When emotion rises, anger, frustration, anxiety, pause, breathe. Feel the emotion, but choose your response deliberately. This micro moment of awareness is the seed of stillness. Over time, this practice rewires your default reactions, forging a calm, grounded presence. Next, authentic purpose demands clarity. Most drift through life reacting to circumstances, but the Stoic way is to define your telos, your ultimate aim. Ask yourself, what would I dedicate my life to, even if no one noticed? Write it down. Reflect on it daily. Align your actions, however small, with this inner compass. Purpose is not found. It is forged in the fires of daily commitment. For quiet confidence, practice negative visualization, a Stoic exercise where you imagine losing what you value most. This humbling reflection strips away ego and entitlement. It reveals a simple truth. Your worth is not defined by possessions or status, but by how you carry yourself through impermanence. The man who accepts loss without losing himself radiates a confidence that needs no words. Moving to emotional resilience, one of the most transformative Stoic tools is the view from above. When overwhelmed by setbacks, close your eyes and visualize yourself from a distance. Your home, your city, the planet, the vastness of the cosmos. In this expanded view, problems shrink. You realize how fleeting each challenge is, and yet how meaningful your response can be. This perspective fortifies resilience. For presence, begin by mastering your breath. The breath is the bridge between mind and body. Several times a day, take a moment to observe your breathing. Slow, deliberate, full awareness. When in conversation, discipline yourself to listen fully. without planning your next response. This practice of deep listening not only enhances presence, but makes others feel profoundly valued in your company. Finally, emotional sovereignty requires daily reflection. Each evening, practice evening retrospection as taught by Stoics. Review your day. Where did I give my power away? Where did I react rather than choose? How can I reclaim my inner authority tomorrow? This nightly ritual builds self-awareness and gradually restores your emotional sovereignty. You stop being a leaf blown by the winds of others' opinions and become the tree rooted deeply in its own soil. But understand this, these practices are not hacks. They are disciplines, a way of being. The Stoics called it ascesis, the art of self-training. Each small act of awareness, each moment of choice, strengthens these qualities within you. And as you cultivate them, something remarkable happens. You stop chasing validation. You stop seeking to impress. You become the man who naturally attracts, not because he seeks attention, but because he embodies rare virtues. This is the paradox the modern world forgets. The less you seek to be desired, the more desirable you become. These 6 qualities are ancient, but they are your birthright. They await only your conscious practice. And through this path, not of conquest, but of mastery, you will discover that what women truly crave is not a man with the most, but a man who needs the least, because he already is complete. Are you ready to walk this path? And now, we arrive at the heart of the matter. In a world intoxicated with appearances, where wealth is flaunted and shallow charm paraded as substance, the true treasures often remain hidden. But you, by reaching this point, have begun to see through the illusion. You understand now that what women secretly love, far beyond money, are the rare, timeless qualities that speak to something deeper than material desire. Emotional stillness, authentic purpose, quiet confidence, emotional resilience, presence, emotional sovereignty. These are not tricks of attraction. They are reflections of a man who has mastered himself. Marcus Aurelius never sought to impress the crowds. Seneca did not write his letters for applause. Epictetus, born into slavery, found freedom not through riches, but through the unshakable power of inner mastery. And yet their words, their presence, their being still command respect across millennia. Why? Because true value does not fade. A man aligned with his inner virtues becomes like an ancient oak, rooted, unwavering, sheltering. People are drawn to him not for what he offers externally, but for the quiet, potent energy he radiates. Women, whether they voice it or not, are instinctively attuned to this. They seek not perfection, not bravado, but depth. A man who is calm in chaos, purposeful amidst distractions, whole within himself. This is why wealth, while useful, is never the true measure. Money can amplify who you are, but it cannot create what is not there. Without these inner foundations, all riches crumble into dust. But with them, everything you touch becomes richer. So I ask you now, not as a challenge, but as an invitation, which of these 6 qualities will you begin to cultivate today? Type it in the comments below. Let this be your first act of conscious practice. And if you found value in these ancient teachings, if they stirred something deep within you, honor that moment. Like this video, not as a reflex, but as a recognition of shared wisdom. Your support allows this ancient knowledge to reach those who have forgotten what truly matters. Before you leave, take a breath, feel your own presence. Remember, mastery is not a destination. It is a way of being, lived moment by moment. The Stoics did not promise an easy path, but they promised a meaningful one, and so do I. Until next time, walk steadily, for in mastering yourself, you unlock the rarest treasure of all, inner freedom.